All right, what's happening, fam? LAR movement still moving. Why black leaders can't be trusted? Very simply put, they're bought. You see, a lot of these people want to do what's important for themselves, not the people as a whole. Now, here's the thing: we only got one life to live, and if you don't put yourself on a pedestal and say this is your calling, and your calling is hypocritical, then you're gonna create a rift with people. Like just plain out. If you're gonna say, I'm here for my people, and at the same time you're saying that so somebody can pay you to not be there for your people, then you need to be dealt with. I say that because they talked about the NAACP, they talked about Al Sharpton, they talked about people talk about sometimes Louis Farrakhan or Jesse Jackson or people who are too old to be in these positions now. And I'm not saying they're too old to be in these positions um, because somebody should have taken the mantle, or they should have given the mantle up by at this particular point by now. You know, that's what I mean. Like, it's time to move forward if you're going to actually have another flock of leaders or whatever. But the problem is, too many people have infiltrated and not really done anything. Same way we feel about these churches, same way we feel about these figureheads in our community, whether they be businessmen, doctors, lawyers, athletes, entertainers, whatever they be, teachers. It comes to the point where people are being counterproductive because everybody's being bought. Nobody has integrity anymore. You got people in the business world who they may be black, but they won't look out for other black people. Meaning, if you're in a position to hire black people, you won't, because you don't want to work with black people. And then when black people don't have jobs, you'll say, man, why all these black people ain't working? Well, you never work. Now, then you say these other people don't do that. Well, you're lying, because other people do hire their own. We as a people support every other business on the planet, but if it's a business that's black owned, then we, for some odd reason, just it ain't good. It ain't good because their ice ain't as cold as the white ice. They tea ain't as tea-ish as the white tea. They Sprite don't have the same fizzle as the white Sprite. That bullshit. So we're involved in that also. As far as the churches in the last 30 years, 40 years, you can't tell me shit a church has done for people at all. It's done a lot of shit for pastors and first ladies and all that shit, but for the people, no, no, ain't done shit for the people. You know, if people stop going to church, I think they'd be much more peaceful and in tune with life. Not necessarily because of the message of spirituality, but because they will see that these pastors a lot of times and these churches a lot of times are more so business oriented than people oriented. And when the pastor starts not liking you because he ain't getting no tithe money from you, he ain't gonna seem so godly. He's gonna turn on you like, I used to love you, but I don't give a fuck about you now because you ain't giving me no money. That kind of thing. The athletes and entertainers, the same thing with the Clippers thing, same thing with everybody makes all of this money and flaunts all of this money and talk about money all the time. But here's the thing. It's rare that you hear people who've actually created a brand new business. You understand what I'm saying? And what I mean by a brand new business, I mean like a brand, like their own business. Very rare. Now, I know it happens. Don't get me wrong. I know it happens. But to a degree, we're putting out the image that we're gonna make money, we're gonna spend our money, pissing our money away in a party, then we are putting it away or utilizing it to create an economic base. And that right there is a definite problem, because you can't be a leader if you don't if you're going in the wrong direction. Nobody's gonna follow you, to the slaughter, and why you consider yourself a leader because you get to move right before the axe come down on you, but everybody else get chopped up. Not cool. I think the most important part of why the leadership sucks is because the homes suck now. You know, family is not a family has become an adversarial relationship. Father and the mother can't get along. Father's family and the mother's family can't get along. Kids can't get along with both of their parents without feeling like they're betraying another. And that division in itself creates division amongst the community because now you got people who are fighting for ridiculous reasons about things that really don't matter because all you have to do is do your job. You know, do your job. If you're a father or you're a mother, be a father or a mother. But we got some people who don't want to show up to that, or some people who have to fight to be that because another person deems themselves more important, and it doesn't hit home until those children grow up to become adults, and then they're effed up because now they realize they need that other part in their life to balance them out. The leadership and going to the elders, we have a lot of elder people who are slow because this behavior that we're seeing right now is not the behavior this of is not a brand new behavior. Older people taught this behavior. Older people learn this behavior. And it's because of this simple thing. We have a lot of people who were not forced to be an adult. When you effed up, like we see now, a young person can have a kid and their parents take care of the kid. That's where you fucked up. You never made the kid responsible. You never made your children responsible for their children. So to a degree, that and when it comes to a child, that means you never made your children responsible for their own actions. So now they're adults who are irresponsible, and somebody else is cleaning up after them. So now we got a society of people, and I'm not just talking about black people on this one. We got a society of people who could just go around fucking up shit every day, and guess what? It's not their fault. But then when people crack their head, then something's wrong. So I mean, the leadership is down the tubes because at the end of the day, self-control, accountability, family, selfishness has run amok in the society. And to be perfectly honest, people worry about this country collapsing and everything. A lot of our most famous or richest or wealthiest people, they're not going to live longer than poor people. I'm going to tell you why. Most wealthy people are not going to live longer than poor people if everything was to collapse because of this simple fact. Most of these wealthy people are old and most of the young people are frivolous. So they're going to stress themselves to death real fast. Somebody going to take their money, or they're going to spend frivolously and be broke and not know how to handle themselves to survive in a society. So it is what it is, man. I feel like that's my opinion. I'm putting it out there. Peace.